Now that we've all had a full day to absorb the first presidential debate, let's really sit down and talk about what we learned. You know, take some time to analyze the policy disagreements. Think through the important issues. Pass the nuances of...
The question
Supreme Court
is...
Justice,
the
radical
question,
left...
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, you graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class.
This is so unprecedented.
He's going to pack the court. Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He wasn't dishonorably.
Cocaine use.
Wait a minute. You get the final word, Mr.
Well, it's hard to get any word in with this clown. Excuse me, this
Hey,
this
let me just
person.
tell you, there's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years, you've done nothing.
Listen,
And
you're
by
the
way,
worst
you were a
president
vice-
America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me...
Oh, snap! These guys were bickering so much Canada called the cops to complain about the noise. I have never seen a debate like that in my life. To be honest, I've never seen anything like that in my life. Honestly, it seemed less like a presidential debate and more like a fight that you overhear in a booth at Denny's. Well, you shut up, you clown. You got no class. I got no class. You got terrible grades, and your son's a cokehead. You piece of shit. You don't talk about my son. You listen. Yeah, hi. Could I get the moons over my hammy with the orange juice, please? Yeah, that'll be all, doll. Thank you so much. You got drunk and you hit on your own daughter. I wasn't drunk. I mean, some of these insults were way more personal than you ever see in a debate, especially Biden calling Trump a clown, which, guys, I'm sorry, man, that's not fair to Trump. Right? Clowns wear weird makeup. They have clothes that are too big for them. They're deeply sad even when they don't show it. Does that sound like Donald Trump to you? Now, let's just be clear. The reason that this debate was such a colossal train wreck is because Donald J. Trump was throwing grenades on the tracks. And usually in a debate, the moderator is there to prevent things from getting out of hand. But last night's moderator, Chris Wallace, was about as successful at stopping Trump as the popular vote.
The country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Well, and him too.
Well, frankly, you've been doing more interrupting
Well, that's
than
all
he
right.
has. Mr.
Obamacare, I
President,
got rid of it.
I'd like
And
you
we
to,
will protect
Mr.
people with
President, I'm the
pre-existing
moderator of this
conditions.
debate, and I would like you to let me ask my question, and then you can answer.
Go ahead.
Sir, wait, no, sir, it's
It's
just
the wrong
yeah, I understand. You've agreed to the 2 minutes, so please let him have it. Sir, you made a
Far
there was no
less lethal
question.
disease,
you made a
by the way.
point. Let him answer.
and the-
Mr.
the only guy
President,
that
let
did
him answer. The second subject is COVID-19, which is an awfully serious subject, so let's try to be serious about it.
Not
Stop.
true.
Tape doing it.
You're going to
He's on
have...
tape.
True.
Gentlemen,
Is-
I hate to raise
Chris,
my voice,
he's
but
on
it seems to
tape.
be, why should I be different than the two of you? No,
Second.
you've been talking
You
back
made
and
a
forth.
statement.
I'm asking you...
I would love to end it.
Sir,
I would love to end it, and
you
we
know, if
would
you want to
very-
switch seats...
We would
could
very quickly.
We could do that.
Oh man, that is so sad. Trump was being such a child that Chris Wallace actually had to pull the "do you want to switch seats" move that English teachers use with their students. And honestly, I'm glad that Trump didn't take him up on it. Because if Trump takes over Wallace's job, then Wallace has to take over Trump's job. And I don't know if he has it in him to kill 200,000 people. But seriously though, I feel bad for Chris Wallace. Any moderator in a Trump debate is basically a WWE ref. You're not really stopping anyone. You're just there to get body slammed every once in a while. And people have been criticizing Wallace for how he handled the debate. But honestly, guys, I don't know if another moderator could have done better. I mean, whether you like it or not, Trump is the president of the United States. So what was Wallace supposed to do? Ground him? There was no way to stop Trump last night. He interrupted Biden. He interrupted Wallace. And there weren't any commercials last night. But if there were, Trump would have interrupted those too.
Guys, are you tired of frequent nighttime bathroom trips? Well, force back your prostate.
Why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million?
Whew, that guy's relentless. So, look, this was not a shining moment in the American history books, right? Political observers referred to it as a shit show, a dumpster fire, the worst debate in history. And with all the interrupting and cross-talking, it might have even been hard to remember if anything important happened last night. But there was one moment that really stood out.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland.
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name.
supremacists and
Who would you like me to condemn?
white supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem.
Wow. There you have it, folks. Trump had an opportunity to be like, white supremacists, I don't with you. Instead, he's like, stand by, guys. I never know when I'm going to need you. Telling white supremacists to stand down and telling them to stand by are not the same thing, right? That one little word makes a huge difference. Like the difference between a blowout and a blowjob. Do not ask for the wrong one at Supercuts. Again, to the staff at Supercuts, I apologize. I hadn't slept and I didn't read the menu properly. And even for that non-condemnation, Trump had to be dragged into it. Like, no president should ever have to be pressured this hard into condemning white supremacists. It's the easiest thing. Trump did it so grudgingly. He was like one of those guys who refuses to make real apologies. What, I'm supposed to apologize for tailgating at your dad's funeral? Fine, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're unable to have a good time. Some of us are still living. And by the way, you know that you've truly botched your condemnation of a hate group when that hate group says, thank you for the endorsement.
The Proud Boys, a far-right extremist group, immediately celebrating the president's comments on social media.
They went nuts on social media celebrating. They put out those words as a rallying cry. Stand back, stand by.
Within minutes, the group's members were posting on private social media calling Trump's comments, quote, historic. The New York Times reports that some group members labeled it as a tacit endorsement of their violent tactics, while another posted the group was already seeing a spike in new recruits.
Yes, thanks to Donald Trump's failed condemnation, this hate group is now seeing an increase in recruits. Which means in the history of television, that might be one of the worst answers ever given. And that's coming from someone who once guessed the number 7 on Wheel of Fortune. I didn't know it had to be letters. That was just like, I was new to America. The Proud Boys liked Donald Trump's answer so much that they're even adopting it as their new slogan. And that actually might piss off Trump, because the one thing he definitely believes in is getting royalties. Whoa. Nobody should be advocating the supremacy of the white man without giving Donnie his cut. I'd be careful if I were the Proud Boys, though. Because if there's one thing we know about Donald Trump, it's that once he invests in you, you have about 5 years until you go bankrupt. So yes, in a debate that consisted almost entirely of 3 old men trying to shout over each other, this one moment was horrifying enough to break out and get noticed. And you know it's bad when even Trump's own supporters are left saying, you done f***ed up.
The president, well, he would not condemn white supremacists.
I agree that the president made a bad error, and I think that was a huge gaffe.
He was kind of like playing around. I didn't like that he equivocated when he could have slam dunked that.
I think he misspoke. I think he should correct it. If he doesn't correct it, I guess he didn't misspeak.
Donald Trump blew the biggest layup in the history of debates by saying not condemning white supremacists. I don't know if he didn't hear it, but he's got to clarify that right away. That's like, are you against evil? Why the president didn't just knock that out of the park, I'm not sure.
Yes. Why didn't the president condemn white supremacy? It's a real mystery. Maybe he didn't hear the question. Or maybe he misspoke. Or maybe he thought they said Sprite supremacists, and he's really into Sprite. I can't think of any other explanation, Watson. By the way, did you notice that even when Fox people acknowledge Trump did something really bad, they still give him the benefit of the doubt? I wish I had friends that were that loyal. You know, if I shat my pants in public, none of my friends would be like, Trevor didn't shit himself, his butt misspoke. Look, Trump's friends can play dumb about this all they want, but I don't know why. I don't know why at this point people are still acting surprised when he refuses to denounce white supremacists. Because as you may remember, this is not exactly a new thing for him.
I think there's blame on both sides. You had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
You see today white nationalism is a rising threat around the world.
I don't really.
There are white supremacist groups and individuals like that who support you, some of whom you've even retweeted.
Well, that I know nothing about. I mean, I don't know about retweeting. I mean, you retweet somebody and it turns out to be a white supremacist. I know nothing about these groups that are supporting me.
Will you unequivocally condemn David Duke and say that you don't want his vote or that of other white supremacists in this election?
I don't know anything about David Duke, okay? I don't know anything about what you're even talking about with white supremacy or white supremacists. You wouldn't want me to condemn a group that I know nothing about. I'd have to look. If you would send me a list of the groups, I will do research on them, and certainly I would disavow if I thought there was something wrong. But you may have groups in there that are totally fine, and it would be very unfair. So give me a list of the groups, and I'll let you know.
Okay. I mean, I'm just talking about David Duke and the Ku Klux Klan here, but...
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know David Duke. I don't believe I've ever met him. I'm pretty sure I didn't meet him, and I just don't know anything about him.
Yeah. It's actually hard to keep track of all the times that Trump had the chance to be anti-racist and didn't. The only thing he avoids more than condemning white supremacists is paying taxes. And keep in mind, this is the same guy who has strong opinions on everything. I mean, the man tweeted for a month about Robert Pattinson's love life. Robert Pattinson, aka Twilight. But then when it comes to white supremacy, he's like, hey man, I don't get involved in other people's business. You know, you do your own thing. The truth is, people, sometimes not having an opinion is having an opinion. If someone's like, I don't know Osama bin Laden, so I'm not going to say anything bad about him, then you should stop talking to that person, or at least don't get on a plane with them. So look, I get why his supporters want to act like Trump's Proud Boys moment last night was some kind of accidental or unintentional gaffe. But if you see someone making the same mistake over and over again, well, at some point you have to accept that it's not a mistake, it's their belief.